Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari Hari. Good morning there, Ivo, and whoever else is here. Can't tell. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari. Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Take care. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gora Bhaktivinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gora Bhaktivinda Nityananda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Nityananda 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Shri Krishna Chaitanya 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. 10th Canto, Chapter 22. Shukadeva Goswami said, during the first month of the winter season, the young unmarried gopis, young unmarried girls of Gokul, observed the vow of worshipping goddess Katyayani. For the entire month they ate only unspiced khichdi. My dear king, after they had bathed in the water, first I'll answer Tom's question in this way. Do this here. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Chapter 1. So Tom asks, what am I feeling when I'm chanting the holy name? Okay, so this is Adi Lila, Chapter 1, Text 6. So Krishna's in Vrindavan and he's seeing Radharani's, and he's looking at her and he's observing her. Just like somebody might be observing a devotee here. So Radharani's a devotee, topmost devotee. So Krishna is looking at her and he's saying, desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him. She alone relishes through her love. She alone relishes through her love. And the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love. The Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sati Devi, as the moon appeared from the ocean. Yeah, it's like also Krishna when he was looking at Rukmini's love for him, and he was also wondering, why? What are you feeling? He's saying, what are you feeling? And this is, I don't understand. And she says, well, only if you come in the position of Radharani will you understand these feelings like this. So in other words, to explain, how do you explain what you feel, for God? So maybe you could do it. Rupa Goswami does a pretty good job of it. But still, it's always, it's personal. And the best you can do is Raganuga Bhakti, is you see a devotee loving the Lord in great exalted ecstasy way beyond the mind, in a revolutionary state that is nobody knows about in this world. So it's an experience. It's a relationship. It's very deep intimacy, very rapturous, very different, very wonderful, very perfect. How do you describe it? But by experiencing it. So that's why the Lord desiring that came as Lord Chaitanya. Okay, and then he relished this, and he showed this kind of state of loving God, and then he showed the path to it. Associate with devotees who are worshiping the Lord in their transcendental state of awakening. Okay? Just follow that path. He took initiation from a bona fide guru, as his life and soul. He really wanted this bhakti. He served his guru just like his guru did the same thing for his guru. Became committed to this and to these, this kind of devotee family. And by it all came. Okay? And he got his own experience of that. So he came to teach like that. And it's the same thing here. You can't, you just got to follow the process and have that awakening for yourself and feel your relationship with God. It's wonderful. You can see it's wonderful on the body of a devotee. You see what comes of it, the result of it, the revelation, realizations, the power of it, the glory of it. You see this kind of thing. And then, desiring it. See, desire, like God, even God desired. Yeah, look at this devotion. Wow. I'd like to try. I'd like to experience that too. So you follow the process, and by it comes more and more. That's all I can say. It's wonderful. I don't know how to put words to these things so much. Johan, ask him. He's better at it. Yeah. Ask Christina. She's getting some, ask anybody, any devotee, to see what they say. I don't know. Maybe they'll have a better explanation. Yeah. See, but devotees who are getting this kind of thing, they think, oh, wow, that's really, I can relate to that. Yeah, this is wonderful. And each person has their personal, individual relationship with God and could appreciate that. Like, wow, yeah, that's really awesome. Yeah. Okay, where was I? Okay. Oops. Yeah. So desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love and the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love. See? So we all got to be like that. We all have, through our love for God, have our experience. Yeah. And that is the, if that people like see that person in their in their eternal relationship with God and become attracted, that's wonderful, because then you can associate with such persons instead of conditioned souls that are non-liberated, non-devotees without this transcendental devotion. That's what people are doing in the world. That's what keeps you in the world. Keeps you, if you want to make it into the spiritual world, you associate with devotees. Just like in the process, the teaching is then the waves of this ecstasy will begin to come by and by. Different rates for different people. Okay, so there's that. Now, back to Bhagavatam. So if you explain it too much, also kind of goes away for a while. All right. So where was this? 22, 10th canto. Shukadeva Goswami said, during the month of the winter season, the young unmarried girls of Gokul observed the vow of worshipping goddess Katyani. For the entire month they ate only unspiced khichdi. My dear king, after they had bathed in the water of the Yamuna, just as the sun was rising, the gopis made an earthen deity of goddess Durga on the river bank. Then they worshipped her with such aromatic substances as sandalwood pulp, along with other items, both opulent and simple, including lamps, fruits, beetles, nuts, newly grown leaves, and fragrant garlands and incense. Each of the young unmarried girls performed her worship while chanting the following mantra. O goddess Katyani, O great potency of the Lord, O possessor of great mystic power, and mighty controller of all, please make the son of Nanda Maharaj my husband. I offer my obeisances unto you. Thus, for the entire month, the girls carried out their vow and properly worshipped Bhadrakali, fully absorbing their minds in Krishna and meditating on the following thought. May the son of Nanda Maharaj, may the son of King Nanda become my husband. Each day they rose at dawn, calling out one another by name. They all held hands and loudly sang the glories of Krishna while going to the Kalindi to take their bath. Each day they rose at dawn, calling out to one another by name. They all held hands and loudly sang the glories of Krishna while going to the Kalindi to take their bath. One day they came to the river bank, and putting aside their clothing, as they had done before, happily playing in the water while singing the glories of Krishna. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Master of all masters of mystic yoga, was aware what the gopis were doing. And thus he went there surrounded by his young companions to award the gopis the perfection of their endeavor. Taking the girls' garments, he quickly climbed up to the Kandamba tree. Then he laughed loudly, and his companions also laughed, and he dressed the girls jokingly. Lord Krishna said, My dear girls, you may each come here as you wish and take back your garments. I am telling you the truth, and I am not joking with you, since I see you are fatigued from executing austere vows. I have never before spoken a lie, and these boys know it. Therefore, O splendid worsted girls, please come forward, either one by one or all together, and pick out your clothes. Seeing how Krishna was joking with them, the gopis became fully immersed in love for him. As they glanced at each other, they began to laugh and joke amongst themselves, even in their embarrassment, but still they did not come out of the water. As Govinda spoke to the gopis in this way, his joking words completely captivated their minds. Submerged up to their necks in cold water, they began to shiver. Thus they addressed him as follows. The gopis said, "Dear Krishna, don't be unfair." The gopis said, "Dear Krishna, don't be unfair. We know that you are the respectable son of Nanda, and that you are honored by everyone in Braj. You are also very dear to us. Please give us back our clothes. We are shivering in the cold water. Oh, Shamasundra, we are your maidservants and must do whatever you say, but give us back our clothing. You know what the religious principles are, and if you don't give us our clothes, we will have to tell the king. Please." The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "If you girls are actually my maidservants, and if you really do what I say, then come here with your innocent smiles and let each girl pick out her clothes. If you do not do what I say, I won't give them back to you. And even if the king becomes angry, what can he do?" Then, shivering from the painful cold, all the young girls rose up out of the water, covering their pubic area with their hands. When the Supreme Lord saw how the gopis were struck with embarrassment, he was satisfied by their pure, loving affection. Putting their clothes on his shoulder, the Lord smiled and spoke to them with affection. Lord Krishna said, "You girls bathe naked while executing your vow, and that is certainly an offense against the demigods. To counteract your sin, you should offer your obeisance while placing your joined palms above your heads. Then you should take back your lower garments." Thus the young girls of Vrindavan, considering Lord Achyuta had told them, accepted that they had suffered a fall down from their vow by bathing naked in the river, but still desired to successfully complete their vow. And since Lord Krishna is himself the ultimate result of all pious activities, they offered their obeisances. They offered their obeisances. They offered their obeisances to him to cleanse away their sin. To cleanse away their sins. Seeing them bow down like that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the son of Devaki, gave them back their garments, feeling compassionate towards them and satisfied by their act. Although the gopis had been thoroughly cheated, deprived of their modesty, and ridiculed and made to act just like toy dolls, and although their clothing had been stolen, they did not feel at all inimical towards Sri Krishna. Rather, they were simply joyful to have this opportunity to associate with their beloved. The gopis were addicted to associating with their beloved Krishna, and thus they became captivated by him. Thus, after putting their clothes on, they did not move. They simply remained there where they were, shyly glancing at him. The gopis were addicted to associating with their beloved Krishna, and thus they became captivated by him. Thus, even after putting their clothes on, they did not move. They simply remained where they were, shyly glancing at him. The Supreme Lord understood the determination of the gopis in executing their strict vow. The Lord also knew the girls' desire to touch his lotus feet, and thus Lord Damodar, Krishna, spoke to them as follows. Lord Krishna said, "O saintly girls, I understand that your real motive in this austerity has been to worship me. Lord Krishna said, "Oh, saintly girls, I understand that your real motive in this austerity has been to worship me. That intent of yours is approved of by me, and indeed it must come to pass. The desire of those who fix their minds on me does not lead to material desire." For sense gratification, just as barley corns burned by the sun and then cooked can no longer grow into new sprouts, the desire of those who fix their minds on me does not lead to material desire for sense gratification, just as barley corns burned by the sun and then cooked can no longer grow into new sprouts. Go now, girls, and return to Vraj. Your desire is fulfilled, for in my company you will enjoy the coming nights. After all, this was the purpose of your vow, to worship the goddess Katyayani, O pure-hearted ones. Shukadev Goswami said, thus instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the young girls, their desire now fulfilled, could bring themselves only with great difficulty to return to the village of Vraj, meditating all the while on his lotus feet. Sometime later, Lord Krishna, the son of Devaki, surrounded by his cowherd friends and accompanied by his elder brother Balaram, went a good distance away from Vrindavan. Herding the cows. When the sun's heat became intense, Lord Krishna saw that the trees were acting as umbrellas by shading him, and thus he spoke as follows to his boyfriends. Lord Krishna said, O Stoka Krishna, Amsu, Sridham, Subal. O Arjuna, Arjuna, Visala, Rishabha, Ojavavi, Prasta, and Varutapa. Just see these greatly fortunate trees whose lives are completely dedicated to the benefit of others. Even while tolerating the wind, the rain, and the heat and snow, they protect us from these elements. Just see how these trees are maintaining every living entity. Their birth is successful. Their behavior is just like that of great personalities, for anyone who asks anything from a tree never goes away disappointed. These trees fulfill one's desires with their leaves, flowers, and fruits, their shade, roots, bark, and wood, and also with their fragrant sap, ashes, pulp, and shoots. These trees fulfill one's desires with their leaves, flowers, and fruits, their shade, roots, bark, and wood, and also their fragrance, sap, ashes, pulp, and shoots. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others, with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. Thus, moving among the trees, whose branches were bent low by their abundance of twigs, fruits, flowers, and leaves, Lord Krishna came to the Yamuna River. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others, with his life, with his wealth, intelligence, and words. See, the demons do the opposite. See, it's the opposite. Instead of doing it for the welfare of others, they perform activities for for their benefit, and their friends who help them for their benefit. See? For their benefit, their activities perform welfare activities for the benefit of themselves with their life. See, their life, their wealth. See, with their wealth for the benefit of themselves, with their intelligence, crooked as it is, for the benefit of themselves. And words, that's the idea of the Hunger Games society. See, a Hunger Games society, these selfish people, which this is what's happening in the world, this is the demons coming out. Okay? And nothing's going to change until people at least understand that. See, because people, the masses will be bewildered by these persons who are performing welfare activities for themselves, so that these few people at the top can enjoy a luxurious lifestyle. That's demoniac. See? That's not enlightened. See? So, and the people, the Hunger Games, the others on the bottom there, they're being used and misused and beused because people, they're using their intelligence in a crooked way. See, their intelligence to benefit themselves, that by hook or crook. See, because when you do things for the benefit of your own self, you got to lie, cheat, and steal to do it. You got to use people. See, you abuse and use people in a crooked way, because if they knew what you're doing, they'd never go for that, right? So this is what's been doing. This is what's been building. These beings, these demons, have been working on this. They've been working for their own welfare for generations. See? To use their intelligence to benefit themselves. You see, and that's what's coming. This is the fruit of it. The Lord's allowing this here. You know, he has his deeper reasons for allowing this. Yeah. It's like, look at came of when Kamsa did this. You know, Kamsa came and did this. Well, Krishna appeared, right? Krishna, you know, showed himself. Krishna saved the world. The same thing with when Hiranyakashipu did these things. He's working for the benefit of himself with his intelligence, for the benefit of himself and his few friends who are also crooked. Okay? So what happens? Eventually, Kamsa or Hiranyakashipu, you know, just the Lord appeared to save his devotees. So yeah, it's a pastime. You know, it's not a very comfortable one at first. You know, nobody like Devaki and Vasudeva were thrown in jail for a long time. Mm. Mm. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others. So the pious, see, they do that. See, their actions are to benefit others. See, even in the demigods, that's why the Lord sides often with the demigods, because it's progressive. Going to get people out of this selfish mentality. You know, all it does is make most people unhappy, and these other people happy for a temporary time, which causes tremendous karma. Being a demon is a horrible thing. You know, you enter that state of consciousness, hardly anyone ever comes out of it. Hardly, it said, you go into that darkness, rarely do people come out. Because it's so dark, it pulls you down further and further. So that's why, you know, even like thank God for beings like Lord Shiva. You know, he gives his association even to demons and helps raise them out. Any of the people start serving him, even in a crooked way, starts raising them out. Prabhupada also, a lot of crooked persons, a lot of demons. What did Prabhupada say? A lot of envious persons in this Krishna consciousness movement. Yeah, that's why people are progressing slow. These persons often are, they do like they're doing in the world. The same thing, you know, very political, very thinking about their own selves, their own bank accounts. Okay? Not, you know, they're just doing the guru thing often, you know, just to, you know, and by hook or crook, they got into that position. Okay? It's not even a demigod thing. A lot of demoniac, crooked. Two-faced, snaky, forked tongue, these kind of things, demoniac, Putana. See? Oh, look at that great devotee, very nice and everything. See? So, yeah. So sometimes the Lord arises, lets this arise, and actually he purifies even those people. They get to see the Lord. Didn't Hiranyakashipu see the Lord? Didn't Kamsa see the Lord? And they got actually, even though it may be a little painful, but they got purified. But we're living the Mahabharata. Exactly. We're living the Mahabharata because it's a battlefield now. It's already the war. The war is on these like Paul said. We don't wrestle with flesh and blood. We wrestle with principalities. See, the battle right now is on the level of the mind. The demigods, see, it's they like they say, info war. See, mental war on the mind level. See, so the info that the demons are given is trickery and lies and deception. See, and the info that the demigod types are given, you can see, like that guy we were listening to, very intelligent. He's giving beautiful talks, and so if you're a little bit godly, you'll like that. But a lot of people, the demons have been working on this with the CIAs and the NSAs, and all these demons are in there, and they've been working on this and what do you call conditioning the masses to believe in them. Okay? So the demigods are there trying to give them right information to try to counteract it. And they say, well, actually what they're telling you is a lie. It's not really true. This virus is like this. This virus is just not as bad as is just as bad as the flu, maybe. And then they're trumping up the number. All this information, which is more true, right? See? But the weakness of this is either the person's giving this information out, they're not giving out the full information. Some are. The full, and that's not even the full. This rabbit hole goes even deeper than this. They're not giving out, well, hey man, don't you see why they're doing it? They don't want the cure for this. See? You got to get that. You got to get, it's like these doctors, they come out, why don't you, accept this? Why? Well, there's a reason. You got to know that reason. You got to know their intentions. How can you, if you don't know the intentions of those who are controlling you that are not really pure, they're really to deceive you. If you don't know why they're doing it, what is their game plan, then you think, why, and then you're like, also you go into battle without any armor. You go in the battle and you start, like, I see these doctors, they're putting out all this information and they wonder, well, why did they end up dead or discredited or without a job? Then why is this? Well, there's a reason. They don't want that information out. They don't want people to be healed. They want to just, what hypocrisy is? Oh, we're going to give you this shot for your benefit. We're going to cure that. Oh, these other things. Oh, we don't want that out, which are the real cures. We don't want that. We want the thing that's actually going to make you into like more of a slave. It's like that, but if you don't know that, you don't understand that, you understand those intentions, doesn't matter how much truth you uncover, they cover up the truth. That's what they're about. You got to understand why they're doing all of this. It's like Jesus said, you got to become as wise as a serpent. See? Wise as the serpent. You got to know what they're doing. That's that, not that you would do that yourself, but you got to be as wise as as the serpent out there. He was. Jesus knew. Didn't Jesus comment on the intention of the Pharisees? He said, you guys are actually servants of the devil. Isn't that in the Bible? And these guys were looked at by society as those who are leading people to God, but they couldn't because they were caught in hypocrisy and duplicity and these things. So people who would follow them would follow. This is called the blind leading the blind into a ditch. Okay? This is blindness. Yeah. See, so and how do you? So ultimately, that's what's coming out. But if you don't believe at least the demigod types, the ones who are trying to, like, they'd see that they're like, these guys, that guy was commenting, he said, actually, you got to know, man, these demons want to have a Hunger Games society. They're on top, which they already are. Okay? But now it's not enough for them to have all this money. See, it's never enough. Was it ever enough for Hiranyakashipu? Never enough. They want more. It's not enough to have trillions of dollars. This is the way it is. Because the soul is looking for the hunger for God, for the truth. See? And then it's so pure that you actually work for the welfare of others, naturally, because God does. You harmonize and synchronize with that spotlessly pure one, and the Lord uses you to actually liberate others out of this. Yeah. So that's in the soul, but it's twisted when the souls are caught up in this Maya, and it becomes perverted. See? And now you go after wealth. You think that wealth, which is also Krishna in that form, but it's dark. You're going after dirt, things that are not eternal. The gold, so it's nice, it shines and all that stuff. But it's, when you die, it stays here, right? The devotees, when this is, the light is more powerful, the truth is more powerful, the ultimate truth, because that's with you forever. This is what these demons are looking for. They want immortality. Didn't Hiranyakashipu want immortality? He wanted to live forever. He thought with his tricky mind and everything, he can outsmart even Vishnu. Inside is Vishnu, but hiding from him because of his activities, because of his twisted thinking. He can't see the Lord. He hates the Lord. This is what this dark Maya does. It makes you opposed to the truth, real truth. Okay? Work selfishly. So that's the situation. Until people can see that, you're going to be under the whammy. And that's why ultimately you have to go deeper than being just a demigod and knowing the truth. Because still, that's why the demons usually, when they get this kind of power, they win for a time. And then who has to come in? God. Notice? Again and again and again. Same thing. With Kamsa, for a time, he got the power through the demigods and the devotees in prison. And the Lord had to come. Came from Mathura. And how did he come? Which is a really interesting thing. He came with his ecstatic self, right? Krishna went and powered up in Vrindavan by ecstatic relating to the Lord. Became so powerful, and he came here with his friends, and just wiped out Kamsa. See, that's the power of bhakti, the power of the absolute truth. Okay? So that's the way to win, is ecstatic worship of the Lord, ultimately. It powers everything up. Okay? You understand that, you get more spiritual power to overcome the illusion, right? The Lord's illusion, the illusory potency, is insurmountable in any other way except by the help of the Lord. This is how do we get liberated? See, we surrender and take shelter of the Lord and the Lord's devotees and the scriptures, right? That's simple. It's just that way, and that's the only way out of this. Otherwise, there's some level of illusion that's going to trick us. Even liberation is a tricky thing. It's not the full truth. You're sitting there in the light and one with God and everything, and then eventually you fall back down because you still don't see the full truth. Unless you meet a Vaishnava and they teach you how to surrender to the absolute truth that they're surrendered to. Okay? They teach you the path to get your own relationship awakened so that you know how it feels to worship God like that. That because they show you the path. He's pointing. Here's the path, association with devotees. Yeah. Become, appreciating ecstatic love, hearing conclusive understanding. Otherwise, what are you going to hear? You're going to hear the demigod level. Usually it's still devoid of devotion and the Supreme Lord, right? These guys, they're not talking about Krishna. They got a good intelligence, a little better. You know, they were good writers and everything, and they were working for the welfare of others, kind of a Brahmin level. But still, they're not devotees, you know, devoted to the name, the fame, the pastimes, the qualities. That's the ultimate. Or the devotional, you may not know so much about, like, it's like Krishna says, my devotees don't always know exactly who I am, what I am, or how I exist. But if they worship me with unalloyed love, they're the best of my devotees. There are a lot of Christians like that. You could see they love the Lord, and they love people too. They work for their welfare, right? They want people to also have that experience to become free. You see those qualities here developing in devotees. They're also they have the relationship with their Lord strengthening and developing, and they also want others to have it. That's the how it works. So what are we doing here? See, we're strengthening our relationship with the Lord so that, and automatically we get powered up so that we can actually become soul winners. Even the demons, their demons have changed and they surrender to Jesus. And why not? They can also surrender to Krishna. Okay. See, this is kind of an army of devotees developing here. And actually, it might even cross lines where the Christians have to see, hey, man, there's devotees in the Vaishnava line. They don't see that because it's still external, pretty external in this Vaishnavism. People doing rituals, kind of Moses level bhakti, ceremonies and rituals and worshiping that, It's kind of the deity worship. That's all you're in, the ceremonies and flowers and all of that. It's still neophyte, very neophyte. At least you're worshiping something, but it's meant to go deeper. I mean, if devotion is there, then it's another thing. Okay, so it's the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words, thus moving among the trees, whose branches were bent low by their abundance of twigs, fruits, and flowers and leaves. Lord Krishna came to the Yamuna River. See, they're bending low because they're full, because of their worship of Krishna, even the trees. The trees are there. This is the thing. By seeing Krishna regularly, seeing Krishna through our ears regularly, there are fruits that come from that. Flowers, twigs, many things. It's like here, see, the trees fulfill one's desire. So these trees of Vrindavan, we're here to become trees of Vrindavan. Okay? We're here, we're looking at Krishna every day through hearing and chanting about him, talking about Krishna. See? And so we're like these kind of trees, and the leaves and the flowers. See, the flowers and the fruits, the beauty and the fruits of bhakti and devotion, their shade, you feel the shade under, in the company of devotees and the Hari Katha. It's kind of a shade, right? See, these kind of trees is we need. Those who are under the shade of Krishna, they're sitting there looking at Krishna by chanting his names in ecstasy. See, then we get the shade. We're in that association. That's sadhu sangha. Okay? Shade, the roots. See, rooted. Yeah, see the roots of those trees. Isn't it nice? One thing I like, when I would hear, like when I listened to Prabhupada speak, on his tapes and everything, I just, I feel this root in Krishna. I loved it. This faith, it's a root. This is what we get also around strong devotees. Rooted. See, strong, not just easy to uproot. Some Maya comes along and they uproot them out of their worship, going here and going there. No, strong root. Hey, so rooted. You need that kind of tree. See, that's where the birds come and nest. This is a strong tree. It's not going to be uprooted and taken away with some hurricane of Maya just come and knock it down. Jesus talked about this stuff, build your house on a solid foundation. That's the truth, man. Solid. Okay? If you're, this is the thing. That's why this will be knocked down. The Vaidhi Bhaktas, if you're building your house on a tree like a guru who has not realized Krishna and solidly rooted in the truth, and they're still caught up in hypocrisy, that'll fall down. It's not a solid foundation. That tree, his roots are not very deep. Has to be deep in the truth, man. Has to deep in the truth. The ultimate truth is spontaneous love of God. Okay? Not even just, talking flowery words about the philosophy and prancing around with a nice dhoti and rubber stamps from the group. That's external. That tree's going to fall down. It's not rooted, man. It's not rooted like the sannyasi roots of Lord Chaitanya were these devotees. They were rooted in the Lord, in their worship of the Lord, their ecstatic relationship with the Lord. That's the root. Otherwise, everything gets knocked down. Whatever is not rooted in the truth, the absolute eternal truth. See, highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion. Reality, the real reality that Lord Chaitanya, the extent of it that Lord Chaitanya came to bring, was spontaneous love of God. See? That's the highest reality. Who's in that? Who's preaching that? Well, whoever is deeply rooted in that and preaching that, that's the best place to root that's the best place to nest. See, now you're in that tree. You become as strong as that tree. You become connected to that tree. Otherwise, you're rooted in things that are going to fall down. See, this is the Maya. The Maya goes all the way up. All those demons are in Vrindavan. The demons inside. If you believe in the Putanas, you become as like a servant of Putana. This is the thing. You see, these people, they believe in the masses. I mean, the masses believe in the demons who are lying to them, tricking them, deceiving them. What happens? They become their warriors. This is what even that guy was afraid of. He said, listen, you become like a soldier for those guys. Because they're being tricked and being used by the demoniac force. So it's the same thing in religion. That's why real enlightened persons abandon religion because, wait, man, that ain't strong enough foundation, man. Look at the hypocrisy. Isn't there hypocrisy in religion? Is there hypocrisy in Vaishnavism? Is there a politics in Vaishnavism, in the big, organizations? If you still believe in that's going to save you, okay, then you'll see. Your personal experience, that'll be knocked down. Your guru, whoever it is, whether they in an organization or out of them, has to be rooted in the truth. And preaching the truth has to be the time to preach the truth. Otherwise, people just die. And then they take another birth. This is why, hey man, we're talking about the essence here. We're talking about when you're being delivered and the method. Chapter 1, Adi Lila, when you're ready to be delivered, you meet the bona fide spiritual master. See? He comes to deliver the devotees. Or she comes to deliver doesn't, no external covering like the body, the identification. Mahajanava, she delivered so many people. Yeah. So it's a duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. And if you want to do this kind of work to become a soul winner, you have to root yourself and have a bona fide spiritual master or association with devotees who are doing this kind of work, and they engage you in it. No one else can. Yeah. Otherwise, you're kind of superficially, serving to more or less. They can't. You can only be engaged in delivering others through the association of a bona fide spiritual master. Nobody else even understands what that is, what it means. What is the confidential service of the Lord is only understood by those devotees. And if anybody wants to understand it, you got to learn it from them. If they're actually talking about it, not just telling you about a bunch of rules and regulations and external worship of God. Like a Moses thing. Yeah. So thus, moving among the trees whose branches were bent low, By their abundance of twigs, fruits, flowers, and leaves, Lord Krishna came to the Yamuna River. See, they're bent low before Krishna was there, and they could see Krishna. They were qualified like this. Most people aren't qualified, right? Therefore, the Lord sends his representative. If you bend low there, if you give respect to the real emissaries of the Most High, see the Most High realization of that, the most deep revelation of the absolute truth. If you give respect to that, you bend the knee there. That's when the Bible talks about every knee shall bow. Because if it doesn't, you stay here in this world. You stay in illusion, being jerked around by demigods and the demons. You got to give respect and honor at a certain point. You got to be able to recognize where the spiritual potency is working in this world and through whom and where. And come under that shade. Otherwise, you got the shade of Maya to whatever degree you got it. Okay? You got to find those who are anointed and empowered by that Lord to deliver you out of it. They engage us in the confidential service of the Lord so you can know what they feel. You can become as they are in your own relationship with the Lord as they are, but you may have another one, but it's all transcendental. If you want to know that, you got to come under that shade, fixed in that shade, become rooted in that shade, dedicated that shade. Even Prabhupada said, hey man, initiation, formal initiation is not as important as dedication and commitment to the truth. Otherwise, you're uprooted from it. And then you even start to blaspheme. The one guy came in here, and now he says, oh, blah, 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 Gohar, he's a demon and all this stuff. See, you find the truth, and then, you just not uprooted because you're not solidly in it, and then Maya takes over. You become as worse than ever. Used by Maya, illusion. And those who are not solidly here also, they're influenced by those persons. One guy is blaspheming what I'm doing. Gohar, this is how it is. They're so confident in everything. Oh yeah, Gohar, he's a demon. He's just sucking people in, like this. And what is the guy's background? He was just in a fucking crazy house. But nobody knows that. And people on the thread will listen to that and believe, oh, well, maybe, get on, maybe he is, And the guy was fucking crazy. He was in a crazy house, literally. Okay? But that's what, he wasn't rooted. He was kind of, was a little bit crazy, and he flipped onto that side. How many people we see that? See, that's when you don't have root. That's why you're not getting out of here until you find a bona fide. If you don't believe it's here, well, that's the way people are going to get out. That's what the book says. I believe the book. I believe my experience. I see people getting out when they're in dedication to their guru. And their guru is bona fide. They get ecstatic devotion when ecstatic devotion is given. That's my experience, and that's the experience of many witnesses. That works. So I can be solid in that. But what I see doesn't work is worshiping teachers and gurus who don't have ecstatic love, don't even have the symptoms of ecstatic love, are preaching something else, some other path, even in Vaishnavism. I see that doesn't work. To me, the desired result is ecstatic love. That's all it is. That is the target. That is the eye of the truth. See, that is what to see. As a matter of fact, it is the eye. Devotion is the real eye. Joyce, I visited for this person. Is the energy too strong to have staying most of the time outside? Oh, what is this here? Hare Krishna. I have visited for this person. Is the energy too strong to have to staying most of the time outside? I don't quite understand.
He visited someone and their energy was too much. He had to stay
Oh,
outside.
you visited somebody. Who did he visit? Who did you visit? I don't know. You visited for this person. Oh, that person over there. Oh, okay. It was somebody. Yes, we can find everything. Yeah, I mean, books are good, but the thing is we have to consider the books and see if they work. If they have the right conditions, they work. See, like Prabhupada came to me. I was worshiping Krishna in this ecstasy for a long time.
So he comes to me and says, okay, now talk about Krishna, share this thing. So I'm basically applying the book practically, so that not only I, I was already finished in that way, because when that awakens, Lord Brahma says you go back to the kingdom, you have assurance like that. Yeah? And you feel it, man. You don't feel a part of this world anymore. You feel a part of the spiritual dimension. You have relationship with eternal living entities, even through the book. It's like, wow, these are my brothers and sisters and my masters, and this is all I had. This is all I cared about. And then Prabhupada comes. Okay? Says, okay, now apply this in like I applied it. Okay? Deliver others. Because that started happening. He said, yeah, this has my approval. Do it. Continue. And what happens? I'm applying the book now in a practical way of doing my bhajan that I was doing in secret before the world. Just like Lord Chaitanya was. And what happens? And not only him, but his devotees, his Vaishnava. At that time, they were doing that. We have more vivid example of after the departure of Lord Chaitanya. It's always like that, It's sometimes more obscured at the time when the Lord Chaitanya was here doing it. You see him doing it, and so. But after he departed, he left that devotion with Narottam Srinivas and Shamananda and the Goswamis. Left it in their hands. And man, you can read about Srinivas, man, in ecstasy, and Narottam going through the villages in ecstasy, and people were becoming attracted and became disciples, took their association, and were eternally liberated in that life. Evinced the symptoms of ecstasy. It's like us. We're roaming around the internet. See? The world is kind of changed a bit. Can't even travel now, but we're roaming around the internet. Those who see this bhakti and develop a desire for it and a dedication to this path, a dedication and a commitment to it. Isn't that what Krishna is looking for? Are you committed to my devotees? Because they're the only ones going to get you out. Or are you committed to the false followers? Those who still are under the Putana whammy or the Agasura demon obstacles. See, they are all in Vrindavan, just like these devotees are in Vrindavan in a sense, but they're not in Vrindavan. They're not in that consciousness. They're still opposed to the real Krishna. Putana was opposed to the real Krishna. Putana has to be transformed. See? The whirlwind demon, there was in Vrindavan. The whirlwind there is speculation, man. A lot of speculation in Mayavadi, in Vaishnavism. And people are taking shelter of speculation. That's not in the book. Yeah, taking shelter of gurus who have not realized Krishna, not absorbed in devotional metals. And they're going, oh, Gurudev, deliver me. No way, man. It's not going to happen. You're speculating. Ain't the truth. It's not in the map. And it's not in the territory where it is being preached here. People are getting delivered here. See? This is the real formula. The book describes it. We perform it or act it out, and it works. The result works here. The only time it may not seem to work is those who come and they're not deeply rooted in this, and they're just, you see them. They come and they just, whisked away, and sometimes they come back and maybe they get a little more solid, but often they're whisked away again. I've seen you ever seen those? Come on, man, it's practically. You see, they're not deeply rooted. They're not saying, hey, go Haridas, you're my Gurudev, you're going to deliver me. Hey? They're not like Lalita. Hey? Or Johan. Or River. Or Govinda. Or Ranga. Or Janaki. They're not like that. What happens? Well, whisked away, right? Hey, come back. Good. Try again. And maybe, they get a little better at it. Sometimes it's not easy, man, to believe in all this stuff here, man. This is uncommon. Look at all the people not believing in it. You think it's not always so easy, is it? Ask River. Always, the false ego comes up and starts, well, look at everybody else is not believing it. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, get stronger and stronger. This is every time we get knocked down, You got to be like Rocky. Eventually get up. Well, you get stronger. You ended up winning, right? We need to play that song every day. Da, 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 da. Oh, and this is the best place to hear. Yeah. And Amen, too. I forgot about him. Look at Amen, man. Great devotee, great qualities. Dedicated preacher. Or Sham, exactly. Sham also. He's also in there. I see his heart, man. Thank you there, Roddy, for mentioning that. As he get, I tell you, as I know that's there, but as the devotees get up there and do more classes, then I start to comment more because I notice, it just kind of comes to mind more. If they can do it, Thank you for you're right. Yeah, he's out there. I heard from you. He's out there listening to the tapes and really taking time, and really taking shelter like that. See? You don't think Krishna's seeing that? See? And give you increasing taste from that. That's how it works. Krishna, it's like the gopis. We're reading the gopis. They worshipped goddess Katyayani for what? They wanted Krishna as their husband. Right? So actually goddess Katyayani is a devotee. That's the way to actually do it. So you go through the devotee. They knew goddess Katyayani was a devotee of the Lord. So they worshiped the devotee to get Krishna. And that's how you do it. Okay? So and so then Krishna comes and says, oh, well, because of your dedication and everything, you really want me and you want this and you want to be married. See, married means you want to be tied together forever. See, that's what the Lord's looking for. It's like, when you really get, like, you really want this and this is what I want. And then, you become tied together and not like looking back all the time. Sometimes, the Lord still, in Kali Yuga, you come and get the association, real devotees, you'll go a little bit back and forth, Oh, you look back a little bit sometimes. But then the Lord is giving us, Lord Chaitanya is giving us the grace of a taste for himself, so then we look forward and sometimes maybe look back a little bit and then forward. And then, after a while, all that stuff is, is just realize, oh, that's just stuff, man. Let me look forward, like this. Yeah, not any other paths and all this stuff. This is enough, man. Let's just go into this and become really ecstatic, man, consistently. Yeah? And it just goes deeper and deeper forever. Shama's doing classes. Oh, good. All right. Oh, no, that's Shama. Yeah. Shama. Yeah. Yeah, well, see, anyway. Yeah. We'll have to just see in the long run what happens with everything, Many subtle obstacles on this path. A lot of people confuse different things as the real thing or the deeper thing, but they may or may not be. This morning he was live with Johans. Oh, great. Yeah, I didn't see because I was sleeping. Shama is doing classes. I think she's talking about Shama Sundari. And he's talking about, Radha's talking about her husband. Yeah, great. Awesome. Wonderful. Keep it up. Thus, moving among the trees whose branches were bent low by their abundance of twigs, fruits, flowers, and leaves, Lord Krishna came to the Yamuna. You see, this is, the Lord moves around his devotees who know him as he is, as Krishna. See, Krishna represents Vrindavan, right? Ecstatic worship. And those who respect it are the devotees. And he moves, among them. Just like here, we respect ecstatic devotion. respect conclusive truth. No party lines, just really dedication to the truth as it is. Okay? Not dedicating to Putana and all these obstacles that are, persons that are so, no, dedicated to the truth. Okay? And the Lord moves among those devotees who are bending low to the truth. The bottom line is, you want the Lord of Vrindavan to be in your life, and to move amongst you. Well, you got to be with his real devotees where the Lord is moving amongst them. This is the principle, my friends. He's not moving so close amongst those who are just doing external bhakti and caught up in the obstacles. He's moving amongst his confidential associates, yes? Or no? Wasn't Lord Krishna moving amongst Lord Chaitanya and his associates? Was he moving amongst Ramachandra Puri? Yes or no? You know Ramachandra Puri? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was, what was it? Ramachandra, was he a great devotee?
He was a fault finder.
Fault finder. Was Krishna moving, another trick question, was he moving amongst Ramachandra Puri?
Yeah, they were together.
Oh, yeah. But what was the difference? See, the Lord is moving amongst everybody. He was moving amongst Ramachandra Puri. He's moving amongst many ISKCON gurus, many Gaudiya Samiti gurus, Gaudiya Math gurus, moving amongst them. Yeah, right? Has to, because the Lord is everywhere. But who is aware of that? That's the key. The Lord is there, but is he there? Is it like Bhagavad Gita? I'm in the world and the world is on me, but I'm not there. Is it like that for teachers? Do you have that kind of teacher? If you have that Lord of Vrindavan moving amongst you and your group, what are you going to see? The Lord as he is. You're going to see ecstatic devotion like Vrindavan. That's real intimate. Otherwise, it's more external, more or less. Depends. Okay? If the Lord is really close and don't you want to feel God? Wouldn't it be nice to feel that transcendental Lord moving amongst you? Because if you do, you're going to become ecstatic. We're like what Prabhupada said. We're like crystals. We reflect whatever we're around, and if the Lord is around close to us, we're going to reflect that ecstatic worship. But if he's distant, we won't reflect that. We'll reflect something else, the externals. And we'll act external, we'll act more formal, right? More formalities, more external, more flowers, external flowers. Not the flowers from the heart, flowers from the, look at all the flowers. Go out there and buy all those flowers, man. Go out there, collect all this money for the flowers. See? External bhakti. Right? Go do the pick, collect, whatever they do now. Let's build an external temple. Make it huge, A lot of work, a lot of energy to get you where? To the point of building the temple in your heart, which also becomes huge. We're building this temple, man. Every day working on this temple here. Yeah? See? So this one is becoming huge inside ourselves. We have many temples here. Everybody's working on their temple here. We're not putting a lot of time building this thing, make big, huge stuff. It takes a lot of work, a lot of energy, a lot of, you got to really, just a lot of money. A lot of time, and it's still external. So that's where Vaishnavism is, and it'll continue to be external, more or less, until devotees start feeling this closeness of Krishna. Being around devotees who welcome, yes, the ecstatic Lord of Vrindavan, we like you. We like this ecstasy. We also want to taste this. Oh, where's the door to that? Oh, the devotees, sadhu sangha. Let's be around the more ecstatic devotees who cry and laugh and choke up like the scriptures teach. And there's where that water is. Oh, I'm starting to desire that. Ooh, look at that. Conclusions that come from those ecstatic devotees worshiping the Lord really intimately. Oh, I want to be around that, man. Okay, you become dedicated there in that well. Become a frog in that well, and you're going to always stay wet. Okay? People jump out of this well, and it's dry again. You become a fault finder or something like a Ramachandra Puri. You know, he criticized the real guru. See, so Ramachandra Puri, because he didn't know how to take shelter. He wanted to teach his guru. He wanted to instruct his guru like this. And what happened? He got the rebuke by staying outside of devotion. And the Lord wanted to show that. And so in the pastime, he comes amongst the devotees and he's completely unaware of that. He's just trying to instruct them, thinks he's smarter than them. See, that's a false ego. Couldn't get free of that because he didn't serve his guru in the correct way. See, with dedication and with submission and surrender, not try to teach him. And we see that now. How many people want to teach what's going on? Teach Gaur Hari Das something. What do they have to teach here? What? But they do. What's it saying? Busted. You're following the path of Ramachandra Puri, trying to teach the guru. Doesn't matter. Guru is one. The real guru, if you say, oh, I'm a disciple of Prabhupada, I don't have to care about you. Oh, you're following the path of Ramachandra Puri like many of his godbrothers did. Oh, we're servants of Bhakti Siddhanta. We don't have to bow down to you. Oh, really? Guru is one. You don't understand. You don't get it. The ecstatic love that was in Bhakti Siddhanta was also in Prabhupada. That guru is one, man. That's Krishna. Krishna is intimate with Bhakti Siddhanta and Bhakti Vinod. All our line, Gorkishore Das Babaji, Raghunath Das, all of them, intimate, ecstatic, and it was with Prabhupada, and you do that? Hey, man, fast forward to 2020. Where is that intimacy? Where is that one guru? You don't see that? You're still here. You don't get it yet. The God brothers, many of them didn't get it. You got to get guru is one. The real guru is Krishna working through an individual that's anointed and empowered in the real line, and the smart people will get it. The ones that Krishna makes smart, and the dummies, they stand outside prancing around the stage in Vaishnavism, often being big shots. But they're small shots. You get a very small shot of bhakti, if anything. The big shots can look like small shots, but you get a big shot of bhakti. That's the difference. Just like Krishna, look like an ordinary cowherd boy. Right? Ordinary, and the cowherd boys look like ordinary things. And the big shot Brahmins in 10th canto, oh, why should we serve you? We're big shots, but you couldn't get a big shot of bhakti. You couldn't even get a small shot. You got an external shot. Couldn't even pierce the skin of the heart. Okay? The big shots were looking like small shots. The cowherd boys, forced attire and all that. But the wives saw it. They went over there and got a big shot of bhakti, big shot of pure love of God, and brought it back and said, hey, we went to the real big shots. Those cowherd boys, man, the spiritual potency was working there. And we went there and we got it because we were dedicated to it. And you weren't. You guys are just Brahmins and external worshippers. Fools still. Didn't understand where Krishna was working. Hey, Haridas Thakur was one of those. Simple person, even Muslim background. But his quality, he was attracted to the holy name. He chanted the holy name with great ecstatic devotion. That's where Krishna was intimately roaming around Haridas. And most people didn't recognize him at first. It's the way it is. Brahmins didn't recognize him. But who recognized Advaita? Oh, Haridas. And Advaita was a high-class first-class Brahmin. And this Muslim person comes here, but he could see. He had devotion. He was the best of the Brahmins. He said, oh, look at this little Muslim coming here. He's worshiping the Lord, such great ecstasy. Ooh, come here. Let me give you the Shraddha Patra. Some kind of meal that's only given to Brahmins. Oh, this guy's better than a Brahmin. And the Brahmins came over. This is how it is am I talking about 2020 or what? It's always the same thing. If you really learn history, you're not doomed to repeat it. Okay? It's always like that when the presence of the Lord, the empowerment of the Lord is in this world. Yeah, Dwaita said, oh, come Haridas here, let me feed you and all this. And the Brahmins had a bad time with this. What is this? He's just a Muslim. See externally. Where's his tilak? Where's his nice dhoti? Where's his neck beads? He's just walking around a loincloth or something. Not looking like a Muslim background. Oh, see? But Adwaita saw, hey man, look at the symptoms of the mercy of the Lord is upon him. Didn't even have initiation. This, you see the ecstatic love working on? That's the reality. The reality in 2020 is, where is ecstatic love if you want to be delivered in this life? Otherwise, no deliverance. That is the door Jesus Christ was teaching about. You want to get delivered as a Christian, you find an ecstatic devotee who has that ecstasy that Jesus Christ has, that person got by faith and by the mercy of the Lord, and you'll be delivered. You'll get that also. Same thing here. Deliverance is, where is ecstatic love? Well, is it here or not? I won't even say. You consider the situation. What are the symptoms of ecstatic love? And this goes, if it's here, it's here. If it's somewhere else, it's somewhere else too. Okay? Where are the symptoms of ecstasy described in the books? The choking of the voice, when you're chanting Hare Krishna, the symptoms of great ecstatic love. Where is that in this world? Is it in this world? If it is, that's where spontaneous devotion is to be had. That's where the only place where real water for the soul is. Mighty bhakti does not water the soul. It's just a prep. It's like vegetables being cut but not cooked. Where is the water? The water is spontaneous love. And this kind of preaching is not often preached. Did you get this preaching for 40 years? How about you, Johan? For 25 years? Was any preaching about where the water really is? It's in the book. Well, we're making it a reality in life, man, because if it's not here, go where it is. Very simple. The Lord came to give this special type of devotion. Very unusual. 4,320,000,000 years it hasn't been seen. Is it unusual? Is it surprising that the devotees in ISKCON and Gaudiya Samiti and Gaudiya Math still don't understand it? I say they don't. I say even Gaudiya Samiti doesn't understand it. I spent a year and a half there. And I didn't see people understanding it. Maybe squirt a few tears here and there. But they don't understand what Lord Chaitanya came to give. If they did, then they would desire that. They would want to be where that is. Most people don't know. It's the greatest secret of all secrets. Not even described in the Bhagavatam, what Lord Chaitanya came to give. It's only described in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya to the extent of it, and by his associates who wrote about it. And then you got to see it and preach it, have it preached to you in the world like it was preached then. Then you can get it. Otherwise, it's not offered. It's just in the book, and it stays in the book for another generation. And another generation. It's in the book, and people will speculate on it. People will write books on spontaneous devotion, and they'll be envious of real devotees that have it. That's what I've seen. See? Prabodhanandana Saraswati Thakur preached about this stuff in his poems. He said, people don't know the kind of devotion that Lord Chaitanya came to bring. They just, even worship of Govinda directly, or, Radha and Krishna Vrindavan, they don't understand the extent of Radha and Krishna's devotion until you get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and now through his real intimate associates when they're actually preaching this, which we do. That's why they think, their little squirting of a tear here and there and maybe a little hair standing on end is, the same as here. Well, sorry, you guys don't know. You got to see the symptoms of great ecstatic devotion somewhere to enter Vrindavan. What are those symptoms described in the book? You have to see it in reality, and then you hear it preached, and then you thought, now this brings remembrance of what's in the book, because I'm seeing it. I didn't know the extent of it until I see it. I didn't know the extent of uncommon Krishna conscious realizations. I thought these little realizations, these little pipsqueaks were giving, they have a little hair stand, a little tear come their eye. You notice these little they're like pipsqueaks. Pipsqueaks. And people think, it's the same as here? Come on, you got to show it's the same as here. Let's see that kind of ecstatic devotion that's in even the disciples, some of them. And let's see the revelations and realizations like this. And then you'll begin to know the extent of what Lord Chaitanya's mercy on this world is about. Otherwise, you'll be thinking the pipsqueaks are something special. The glowworms. A little tear once in a while. And a very superficial revelation and realization of the truth. Very superficial. See? In other words, you don't understand Lord Chaitanya. Can't appreciate it. We're here to help people understand the extent of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And people are getting it, And how do you know? Well, look at the ecstasy they're getting. So if you're not, just coming along and having that kind of ecstasy, don't be surprised. It takes a little while. You're on a train. Well, this thing is like Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy, preaching. Maybe some people are coming and they were just, ready and ripe for this, and then they're there. Hey, man, it's inspiring. You're going to get there. You're on the train, man. Everybody's on, even the false followers on the train, but you get this close, you're going quick. A lot of these persons with Prabhupada, they're taking another birth, man, because they don't have ecstasy. Some of them don't even have the, literally, like even some tears much, So, but still, they're on the train, and they're coming, everybody is, But we're here to preach Shuddha Bhakti. We're here to preach Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Why not? It's here. It's available. Hey, Ramananda Roy said, if that kind of ecstasy, that kind of spontaneous love of Vrindavan is available, you should go there immediately. Well, we just preached that, Just say, hey, man, if you can figure it out. We're here to glorify this kind of worship, man. These kinds of uncommon revelations and realizations of the absolute truth. This kind of uncommon ecstatic worship. Very ecstatic, very, unusual, very different, very wonderful, very intimate. We're here to glorify that. And to open the door. The door is open for that here. And when it's shut when you don't see those symptoms anymore. You won't even be aware of it. You don't even know that that's the thing to go for, right? The devotee is the path, right? Isn't it? If the devotee is not here preaching, see, they're the truth. They're the word of that. See, I'm not preaching Vaidhi Bhakti. I'm not preaching impersonalism. I'm not preaching Varnashram Dharma. I'm preaching this. See, they're that truth. You want that truth? You listen to their word. See? They're the life, right? What life? Ecstatic worship, ananda, bliss. To very deep extent. There you go. That's the devotee. That's the bona fide guru. That's the door to Vrindavan. Always will be. No other way. You're not going to get it by your offensive chanting, dry chanting, even 1 or 2 lakhs of dry chanting. There you go. Thank you, Johan. Adi Lila, chapter 7. Perspiration, trembling, standing on the head, body hairs, tears, faltering voice, fading complexion, madness, melancholy, patience, pride, joy, humility. These are various transcendental bliss, love of God, which causes the devotee to dance, float in the ocean of transcendental bliss while chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. See? And also that. See? Also preaching. See? You don't know, you see a devotee and just always humble as pie. Sometimes great pride, but spiritual. It's all about Krishna. Authority. Maybe a little arrogance mixed in there. All these are devotional symptoms. How do you know? Well, you see, that's the nature of Krishna. Wasn't Krishna in this world a little arrogant sometimes? But it's transcendental, isn't it? Well, like father, like son. Was he a little proud? Was he sometimes really humble? Well, that's what you see in the body of the devotee. You see everything, if they show you. Unless they're in a cave somewhere doing their bhajan, away from everybody. That's bhajananandi. Goshananandi, they do their bhajan in front of you. And if you can hack it, if you can take it, if you're attracted, if you think, wow, man, that was really nice. I think that's what I think when I think, Lord Chaitanya's going around really arrogant like that. I think, wow, what a wonderful pastime. When you see it in the world and you start to like the characteristics of a devotee, what's that mean? Oh, you're starting to like the Father also. See? You got to get to the Father through the Son, right? Anybody? Son or daughter or intimate friend. In our advice, we extend the understanding a little bit. If you don't like the Son, how do you like the Father? Isn't that what Jesus preached, man? Oh, you Pharisees, oh, we love Moses and we love God. We love the Scriptures and preach the Scriptures. And Jesus said, no, you don't. You don't like the Son, therefore you don't even know the Father yet. You want to get to the real Father, you got to wash your clothes, man. You want to get married to God, you got to get married to God, man. You got to get that through a married couple, a person that's married to the Lord. He was. You don't go through the door. The door is a devotee. You don't go through, you don't get your clothes washed. You keep your false ego, man. Isn't that what happens? Your identifications. I, me, mind, and I'm just interested in my world. The clothing needs to be washed. Right, sir? We're preaching away. Hi there, man. Oh, let's put you up there. Let's hear it. Okay, I'm going to put the sound up there. You look like a man of God, man. I can see Christ is in your heart. Is that true? Yes or no?
I love you. I love you, brother. Salute. What's your name? Pronounce your first name. Pronounce it for me. S-I-L-R-A, something like that.
Yeah, Srila Gaura Haridas or Gaura Haridas.
Sri Gaura Haridas. You remember me? You remember me? See, I'm finna tell now. Don't you? Okay, now, cause you finna tell it. You better remember me now.
You're Ross Lamar.
He is a real prophet, y'all. He is a real prophet, y'all. He is a real prophet, y'all. Y'all, please support my friend. Support him. I want y'all to support him because this man is real.
Who?
I didn't think he was really real. I thought he was a fake.
Oh, me?
I want them to support you.
Oh.
Yeah, I want them to support you and your wife. I love y'all. I love y'all.
You don't know what I go through with this wife over here.
That's all right. She's good. She's a good lady.
Yeah.
I love y'all, man. I love you, brother.
I'm hanging in there.
I just started watching this.
She always has to get her own way, though. I can't get anything, man. I have to back down every time.
That's a good woman, dude. That's a good woman.
She has to have everything the way she wants it.
I love you, brother, and I don't want to mess up your program.
No, hey, you ain't messing up, man. It's great.
I just just had to come in and say hello, man, because you pray for me and good things coming about. And as soon as more good things coming about, I'm gonna make sure we all join into the feast.
All right. I love that, man. That's great.
All right.
Yeah. Hey,
Keep doing your stuff, man. Keep doing your thing. And I love y'all. You and your missus. I love y'all, man. And I thank you for allowing me to come in. I thank you.
Okay. Hey, great. Well, thank you, Lamar. That's great. All right. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. We're the reapers here, but not the grim ones. We're not the grim reapers here, man. We're the ecstatic reapers. We're here to, like Jesus said. Jesus said, just saying, okay, gotta hold that thought. I gotta get the battery here going.
Okay, I'm gonna get some sunshine.
Yeah, get some sunshine. Here we go. The sun is out. All right. Yeah. What was I saying? Something about... I told you, hold that thought, man.
Oh.
I forgot it myself. Yeah, Jesus said, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Isn't it? So what is the harvest? Harvest is for love of God, the ecstatic love of God, man. That's the only thing real in this world, Jesus taught. The only really real thing, man, And the harvest is plentiful because people want it. They want it. But the workers are few. See, so Jesus increased the workers. We're increasing the workers. The workers are working for this. Working for the essence of truth, the ecstatic devotion. We become it. The workers, the ones, they become engaged, or the ones who become stronger in ecstasy, man. And the others, they're also working for this. See, and they become stronger and stronger, and then able to reach out to others and pull them in. Okay? Because it's the only reality. Whether you're a Christian or a Vaishnava, it's the same thing. Or any person of God, where the truth, man, and this is really the only truth in this world is love of God. Really, isn't it? Loving the Lord. Everything is external. People are going the wrong way, making people miserable, lying and cheating. And this is the kind of world if you don't love God, the true God, the transcendental Lord, not the external Lord, not the Lord of Maya. It just makes you give yourself problems and other people problems. You work for your own welfare. Selfishness, man. Selfish, and it's false. It's a false ego identification. Why would you want to deal, with your selfish, small, little self when you can have this huge self, Krishna? You got so much life, so much energy, so much ecstasy, so much truth, and it goes on and on. And you can give that to others. You can engage them in connection with that huge self that's infinite. Why are you dealing with chunk change? Now, this is to you demons out there. You got this big project, to make everybody slaves so that you can enjoy yourself. That is your truth. It ain't my truth. It's dumb. It's not very smart, man. You got trillions of dollars, man. You got trillions of dollars in wealth there. I got unlimited wealth in my Lord. And you can have that too. Demigod or demon. You have the unlimited wealth of the Father, man. The Father, or he becomes your intimate friend, or you become even his maintainer, and then he likes to take that for. Oh, you want to love me like that? Okay. Oh, you want even conjugal? Oh, this very high X. Ooh, I like that too. Okay, man. Yeah, you give me a lot of happiness that way. Yeah, that's the wealth, man. The wealth is what we're getting here every day, expanding more and more, building this temple of the heart. Isn't it? Notice the heart's getting bigger, man. The more ecstatic, more intimate here. This is about, isn't it? Roddy says, there's a strange woman behind your back. Watch out. Let's see. Is it Radharani? Radharani's around here somewhere. I've seen her picture. Oh, there's right behind her back. Yeah, there's Radharani behind her back there. Yeah, so. Thus, moving among the trees, the branches were bent low in their abundance of twigs, fruits, and flowers and leaves. Just like, in the Bible, Paul was teaching about spiritual gifts because he noticed that people that were worshiping Jesus, see, Jesus Christ represents God, the Supreme Lord, very intimate with God, preached as how you cannot teach us to become devotees. God even has to come as a devotee. That's what I learned by Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, Jesus Christ has to come as the worshiper of God to teach us how to worship God. Right? You got to be an example. Okay? So those who are worshiping Jesus Christ got entered into a worship of God. Okay? And they get spiritual fruits, gifts. What happened here? Here we go. See, an abundance of fruits, flowers, leaves. See, Lord Krishna came to the river. And only this kind of association they call sadhu sangha is the water for it. For this kind of a tree to grow, the tree of devotion. Vaidhi is not enough. That gets you to a point. That's why it says it only leads to Vaikuntha, which is, you have to really perfect. Prabhupada said you got to perfect that kind of external worship to the point where you get something. But it's very hard, very long path. See? No, if you want Vrindavan, that only leads to Vaikuntha. You need to associate at some point with the ecstatic devotees. See, even like Uddhava was worshiping Krishna of Mathura, of Dwarka, and in that mood, he had to get the association of the Vrindavan devotees, and Lord sent him there to get that association to begin to worship like that. That more intimacy. So if the Lord is sending even Raganuga devotees like him to Vrindavan, it shows you need the association devotees that have more devotion. Okay, so even there's a devotion in the Vaidhi level, but if they want to move on, if you want a deeper relationship, you got to see that it's available, because even Uddhava didn't know. Even Uddhava wasn't sure. Therefore, Lord said, well, you go there and you see what's going on. Maybe he heard or something, but he didn't see it. He needed to see it, and the Lord said, "Oh, okay, you won't be opposed to their mood because you got some of that. You worship me in that ecstasy, also a similar ecstasy. You go there, you'll see even a deeper level of it. Isn't that what about progress? You had to see it first, and this is what we're teaching here. Yay, man, you Vaidhi Bhaktas in ISKCON. I don't care where you are, what group you're in. Have you seen this kind of ecstasy? Because that's the only way you're going to progress towards it. You got to see it's available. You got to see that it's real. Otherwise, it's some mythological thing still. Something in a book. And you don't even know if you're attracted to it until you see it happening in a temple. You got to see a temple where that kind of worship is going on. Otherwise, what do? You go to the temple externally and you see these external worshipers, most of them. I've seen this all the time. I go to even in Mayapur, I go there, people are like this. And I feel like, let me go home and worship Krishna more intimately. The gopis are like that, man. They didn't even want to leave Vrindavan, and Krishna's leaving. He said, we don't want to be around where the devotees are going to worship you in that little more, awe and reverence and mixed in with affection. No. We'll stay here and meditate on you together and worship you in separation. Better. Okay? See, because it's the same thing. When a devotee goes to a temple, external temple, and the worshippers are all, oh, Krishna. Krishna's reciprocating. He's standing up there and thinking, like this. And not saying much. Nobody knows the intimate thing, and that he's all there, and they're all going, "Oh Lord, you're the King of Kings," and all that stuff. And when I was in Mayapur, I never really, very rarely went to the temple. I didn't want to see that. I'd rather stay home and chant Hare Krishna, and the tears come because I can't do that in the temple. They'll throw you out, man. It's an offense. You know that? It's an offense to cry before the deities in their level. It even says in the book. On the level of Archana, it's offensive to cry before the deities. I'd rather be home. I stayed home. I was very ecstatic. Even people were coming, our friends, and they were becoming more ecstatic also. So, practical Vrindavan. Isn't it kind of practical? It's the way it is. Yeah, I'd rather be here in this sadhu sangha than preach, even if I was go to ISKCON. Say they invited me to ISKCON and preach there and chant there, and then I have to, I gotta say, I can't, if crying comes in all this, I gotta hold it back and all that. Well, you know what? I think I'd rather be home with a few of my friends and students where we can be ourselves. Better, because I'm not here to teach Vaidhi Bhakti. That was Prabhupada did that. This is for the next stage. If anybody's got sufficient realization from Krishna to see what's here. If not, stay there until your time. Until people are interested in this. Govinda said, 4 months in Mayapur, did not see Panchatattva deities once. Saw you, Gaurharidas, saw Gauranga, saw Shiva. Yeah, you were going to the bank and all that. You found that Sadhu Sangha was more powerful. This is as it should be. If the Lord is really roaming around amongst his intimate devotees, it'll be seen with your eyes as well as with your heart also. So the cowherd boys let the cows drink the clear, cool, and wholesome water by the Yamuna. See? King Parikshit, the cowherd boys themselves also drank that sweet water to their full satisfaction. See, the river Yamuna was keeping people alive. The river Yamuna represents the devotees. Harikatha is what really keeps the cool water, isn't it? Cooling? Cool water, clean, purified. See? But Kalya was in there before. See? Kalya, this is it later on. Kalya was kicked out of there because Kalya was poisoning that river and people were drinking that. You could say that represents Harikatha, drinking poison Harikatha. It was killing people. It was killing their bhakti. Your bodies could be walking around like here. You can have Harika people, Krishna this, Krishna, Krishna, and the heart is full of envy. What are you going to get? The energy, right? From the real devotee, ecstatic prema emanates. Well, how about from the false devotee? Does ecstatic prema emanate? No, not that, but envy will emanate. Maybe jealousies, maybe impure hearts, all these qualities will emanate. And you're listening. They go in through the ears, yes? That's why people stay where they are. You're with that kind of association. But, there are a lot of sincere people still have their hearts are dirty. They can't help it. It's only ecstatic worship that purifies the heart. They're the ones who are going to see God. Blessed are the pure in heart. They're going to see God. Only the chapter 1, Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd verse. Only the pure in heart can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. The confidential message of Srimad Bhagavatam can preach that message and purify the hearts of others. Otherwise, I can say Krishna this, and then I'm still a little bit like Kalya, man. I'm in there, and I'm not purified, but I'm going Krishna. I'm looking like the pure Yamuna, but I'm in that Yamuna there. My consciousness, man, my heart, my envy, and my jealousies, and my competitions. And you're listening. Oh, Gurudev, deliver me. Oh, you'll be delivered of the false ego. Still, you can't get out of it. The blind are leading the blind still. You got to see, where is Krishna? Jumped in that river. That's why you come here, man. Krishna jumps in your river, in your heart, man. So what comes out of your mouth becomes pure, pure, and pure. The Lord, you find the true branch, the true vine, and then the gardener goes in there and starts his work. Isn't that what Jesus preached? I'm the true vine. The real empowered Vaishnava, devotee of the Lord, is the real branch or vine, whatever you want to call it like that. And then from that branch, the Lord is activated in your heart. See, and gardens and weeds and pulls out all that envy and jealousy. There's no other way to make quick progress. Otherwise, you're really not making much progress at all. You're snailing your way to Vrindavan or to the Garden of Eden even. His preaching is the same, man. Always the same. So I honor and worship Jesus Christ because he was conclusive. He said, my dear disciples, you are clean by the word I spoke to you. Therefore, the Lord in the heart is going to awaken. And it's the same preaching here, man. You see it in action. Again, in 2020, people's hearts are getting purified here because the Lord is jumping in there and squirting the tears out of there. You know? Awakening in their hearts, giving them so much happiness, so many fruits, so many flowers, so many spiritual gifts coming. Right? You got to have that in reality. This is real for us. It's a reality, substantial, not an intellectual friggin' book level, right? Yeah, well, I'm reading the book and don't understand. That's been the problem. 40 years not understanding deeply. 25 years for Johann not understanding deeply. Now understanding, because it's real. It has to just be in even one person. And from that one reality becomes your reality too. You become as the Guru Dev is. So Tuka says, wow, that explains why being an ISKCON Bhakta made me a Krishna conscious hate monger. Wow, amazing. Yeah, well, it's on the way to Vrindavan are obstacles. It's the real bona fide spiritual master that removes them, like the book teaches. Yes or no? If you didn't get it removed by Prabhupada, which is natural because he's here a short time, and his mission was Vaidhi Bhakti, build the temples, write the books, and leave that mission for us here. If you preach like this, then it's your mission too. Do you have ecstatic devotion like you see even in disciples here? Do you have this kinds of realizations? You got this kind of root, this kind of potency? Well, okay, you're doing the same job. If not, why not come here and be delivered? If Krishna gives you the intelligence, you'll see our drift here. Otherwise, you'll drift somewhere else. Hey, if you wash on this shore, you're very lucky. Because, if you start to see the power and the amazing grace here, boom, you're delivered. You become rooted in this and not just washed away by the illusions. Many out there. This is why, most of what I see I'm looking just like Lord Chaitanya. When he saw Tattavadis, he said, well, the only qualification I see is you have faith in the name of Krishna. But the qualities, they were looking like external devotees, interested in ceremonies and flowery things and flowery language, never talked about the glories of bhakti, just varnashram dharma. That was Tattavadis. And I see the same thing now. What is the difference? 2020, I look at ISKCON, flowers, varnashram dharma, rules and regulations, just like the Tattavadis. That's intelligence. You look in the book and you look in the world and you see what's there. Okay? And the Lord teaches them, just like I'm teaching also. The Lord said, oh, you guys, you don't know about ecstatic devotion. That's really the goal of Krishna consciousness. And we do the same thing. Oh, you ISKCONs and whoever you are out there, Vaishnavas or worldly people, the goal of life is love of God, devotion to Krishna. That's the only real thing in this world. Everything else is baloney. It's one level of baloney or another level of baloney. It's not real. It's not eternal. Just gets you in troubles. Okay? The only way out, especially now. What was the only way out in Mathura time when Krishna came was Krishna, right? The ecstatic Krishna. That worship, he came, and whoever received that, received Krishna, received the spiritual world. You know, that's what Krishna told Uddhava, who took shelter of Krishna. And Krishna, after a time, he said, I'm going, but you know what? I'm going to leave you here. You'll go up there and do your worship in Bhadrak Ashram. And I'm awarding you Vaikuntha. And it was very difficult to attain. Very difficult. You think these people are going to attain Vaikuntha that very easily, doing their rules and regulations? Very difficult. But I award it to you. Okay? Because of Lord Chaitanya, much better is being given here. And easier. So, see, so the cowherd boys let the cows drink. You see, all of this is esoteric. All this is about the path, man. About what is really pure and what is impure. You know, what's really pure is Krishna. What is impure is everything else, even the mode of goodness. It's not pure enough to stand before Lord Chaitanya. Devananda Pandit was a perfect Brahmin, man. He did the rules and austerities, and was even humble as pie, like some of these gurus you heard. Oh, so humble, but still could not stand before Lord Chaitanya and his real devotees. Didn't understand them. There's still a little bit of the putana in there. See, Krishna has to, the real Krishna is ecstatic devotion, man. And that's what purifies the heart. And then you can drink the cool, clear water of Harikatha. And you'll feel it, man. Oh, this is clean. This is really purified. This has got an edge to it. Yeah. You know what people think the edge is? Me distinguishing that this is illusion. They think preaching the real Bhagavatam is illusion. They think, oh, well, look at, you're criticizing ISKCON devotees. You're criticizing other devotees and other mods. What, the truth? No, it's just distinguishing. Hey, man, if you got ecstatic love, you should have no problem with this preaching. If you do have problem with this preaching, you don't have ecstatic love. Therefore, you're more or less an illusion. Some of these obstacles in Vrindavan are blocking your way to be in the real Vrindavan. Hey, you don't see that this is a good thing. A lot of people thought, you know, the Pharisees thought, oh, Jesus, he's trying to be number one. No, he's just preaching number one. What is number one? Is the real path, the real word, the real life of the Holy Spirit, man. And the Pharisees, oh, this is a threat to our, no, we're the real devotees. We're the real, yeah, well, prove it. How many people did you deliver? I say the same thing. You ISKCON people or Gaudiya Math or Gaudiya Smriti. Hey, man, no criticism in that sense. Just how many people have you delivered as guru? How many? Show us one person. If you do, if you have, okay, you're Gurudev. Wonderful. Hey, man, the harvest is plenty, the workers are few. It's so nice to see another worker here. Delivering people real ecstasy and not just a bunch of rules heaping every year. Like, you know, I just look at Jesus preaching, totally relate to it. I see people in this world and as leaders heaping more rules every year, more rules about being initiated. And that's only external. More rules about it, more rules about you got to follow, more rules in Mayapur. Don't sit here, don't do this, don't. And this is their worship. More rules every year because they can't give this, which takes you out of, you can be sovereign of your own life, man. You don't need a guru externally to tell you what to do. You'll be so in love with God, so realized, the Lord will show you everything. There's nothing to even ask in that way. You have a relationship with the Most High, the most intelligent, and therefore you become intelligent. The most ecstatic, therefore you become the most happy person in this world. So happy people are here. What are you happy? Yeah, I know what it likes is to taste ice cream and this food and that food, but what are you tasting? You become like that. Oh, well, come on in, come follow the path, man. Come hang out with us because the devotees here are the path, man. You have to go to the devotees from this Sangha, but you don't doing this. So what does this say here? Let's see here. Vitama Das says, don't pay attention to them. Just do your thing and do your path. Well, this is part of doing my path there. I'm not paying it. I pay attention to them. You know why? Because I'm here to work for the welfare of all people. Wasn't Lord Chaitanya here to do that? Did he just want to benefit his own group? I don't want to know. I'm not interested. And that's not enough for me. The Lord thinks big. Prabhupada thought big. Devotees just naturally, they have a bigger picture of things. Hey, man, I want to see millions of people get this. I want to see millions of people glorifying ecstatic devotion. I want to see millions of people bringing in demons out of illusion even. And hooking up with real immortality and not this machine-like immortality, to put their consciousness in a machine. Who wants to be a machine? People think, even in the world, these guys, Elon Musk, man, you know what he thinks it is? To get more knowledge and more intelligence. What the hell is that, man? It's so robotic, man. More ecstasy. Devotion to Krishna. Knowledge is fleeting. Devotion to God, man, is the real thing, eternal thing. Not more knowledge in the computer, wow, more knowledge. That is so diddly squat. And it makes you just so unfeeling. They think that's reality, and that's where, the more knowledge of that stuff and become like God and, knowing all this. That God who knows everything, he likes to take his form here and know nothing but love his devotees. That's reality, man. Love his devotees and his devotees loving him. All this I want to forget that, he's thinking, so I can be more in the ecstasy. See? And only the knowledge to get you there. That's what we preach. The knowledge to get you into relishing mellows. So I feel zero. That says a lot about me. That sounds very deep purification. What is it? Don't pay attention. Riverima replied to Radhe. I feel nothing, zero. That says a lot about me. Well, Radhe, all you have to do is, just hang out here and just hang out here and just observe the devotees, and then Krishna will benedict you. Come to the point where you really want this. And, even like if you're feeling zero, okay, that's good. You're starting at ground zero. His only place to go is up, right? Okay? Well, you got a husband. Your husband will deliver you just by the more bhakti he gets, you'll be delivered. If you had the more bhakti, then you deliver your husband. So you're in the right place. You got a husband that's really on this path, loving this path, and you got devotees here, and maybe you've got your issues and all that, but by and by, you see your desire will sprout here. Just takes time. So I tell everybody, you're not the only one that's not feeling. Look at Karuna. He's also having trouble feeling stuff. And I don't know, whoever else comes forward, they're also, well, anyway, you're on the train, man. Maybe you're more towards the back in the caboose, but you're still on the train, right? You're on a train. You're being taken to Vrindavan, and everything will increase in this sense. Maybe you got some obstacles. I don't know, your personal situation, but you just keep staying in this association. You'll be dragged back there. You're pulled back there. But this is a rope. Think of this as like a rope. You're just hold on to the rope. And so the rope is there. Just hold on to it, and you'll see. You'll be pulled right into the kingdom of God. Like River says, that sounds like deep purification. It is. You know, a lot of people don't even know that zero, Rade. You know, these people, they don't know, you know, they're more at, they're at zero. And if you're in ISKCON and you haven't got the association of ecstatic devotees, you're still at zero. You don't even know it. That's worse. That's lower. That's negative zero, because you don't know you're at zero. Until bhakti awakens in the heart, you're more or less at zero still, or below. See, zero means, oh, you know what? I really need this. You know, I don't have this bhakti. I really want this. Hey, now you're going. That's a sprout, actually, in the right direction. Most people don't even know that. They think, oh, I know so much about devotional service. Why do I need to go and the Sadhu Sangha of Gaur Hari Das over there with his friends? They're ecstatic. I don't need that. I know so much about Prabhupada's books. That's less than zero. Hey, if you're at least, you know, like you think, wow, you know, that's a kind of a place, because that's when you start to get filled. You know, the Lord says, oh, good, you know, emptied out. It's, you know, and then you start to get filled with the real thing. Govinda, yes, we're paying attention to all paths. Hang in there, Radhe, yes. I relate with Radhe, but often in hindsight, I'm like, wow. Yeah. Oh, this guy dancing around. All right, man. Let's check him out, man. This guy looks cool. Hey, dude. Is he going to dance? You going to dance for us? Guy's dancing for us on Bigo. Oh! That wasn't very long. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll read another verse, I think. So then, O king, the cowherd boys began herding the animals in a leisurely way within a small forest along the Yamuna. Small forest. But soon they became afflicted by hunger, and approaching Krishna and Balaram spoke as follows. We'll get into that story next. Time to go hang out in the sun a little bit. It's coming out. Was in Vrindavan, the Ayurveda doctor says you are full of love. And he was right, and he is right. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, for coming. That's a nice wild ride today, as usual. Hope you enjoyed the ride. I did. Anything, any parting words there? Sure.
I'm good.
You're good? You gotta say something. You just sat there. Say something.
Something.
Something? Yeah. What'd you think of the class today?
Well, it's a roller coaster ride every time. Every time it's like, you know, you get this nice mellow, everything's in, and then it's like,
yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it good? Is it
the
good?
loud shouts.
Is it a good ride or something?
It's always a good ride. It's a roller coaster.
It's exciting, huh?
It's exciting, but you still, you know, then you have, afterwards, then you have to stop and just try to assimilate everything and deal with all this stuff that you were just getting.
Oh, really?
That's how I have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I have to think about things and how it applies to me.
Makes wow.
can do to improve, to change, to whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I still have to deal with me.
We'll be so happy to get rid of that me.
Oh, God, yes.
And get the real me. Yeah. It's just a process. I relate that with Radhe, but often hindsight. Let's see, Radhe. I was in Vrindavan there, okay? And he was right. Thanks, Guru. Thank you. Thanks. A lot of angry doubts cleared in 1/2 hours of time.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Pretty amazing. Christina, thanks a lot. Roller coaster, all right. Yes, I hate roller coasters. Lifetimes of an artist clear in 1/2 hour, they'll pop back. Yeah. It is cold in the USA. Is it cold in it? Not now, but it is cool in the morning.
It's just morning. We're in the
morning
mountains.
time. You're in the mountains, 7,000 feet, maybe higher. Still laughing, Lamar says to your husband and wife. Still laughing. Maybe they are. This ride awakens. Oops. This ride awakens my Krishna consciousness. Thanks. Yeah. Still laughing. Oh boy, a lot of Friday. Shave that beard, please. Shave the beard, huh? No way, man. Otherwise, I have to shave every day. Are you kidding, man? I'm into renunciation, austerity. That's we don't shave. We got to just think of Krishna. Otherwise, I spend time shaving every friggin' day. Are you kidding? I ain't going there. Okay. Hare Krishna, everybody, and we'll see you later. Thanks for coming.